It is so weird to see a bishop on a5, a knight on a6 and a queen on a7, all on the a file. In this video we are going to have a look at Grischuk versus Carlsen in the St. Louis Rapid. Grischuk has white, Carlsen has black. The game began. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4. Take, knight f6, knight c3 and g6. We have the dragon by Carlsen. He doesn't normally play the dragon, but this is a rapid game. Any opening goes. Bishop e3, bishop g7 and f3, the normal way to play against the dragon. You defend your center with the f-pawn, and maybe you go g4 later. Get ready to castle queenside. a6. So Carlsen is combining a dragon with the Najdorf, which is a Sicilian he plays often. Queen d2, h5. Already we've got some sort of imbalance. What's the idea of this move? It's to stop g4. But it does make it harder for Carlsen to castle, because you've got a pawn on h5. You would rather have it on h7. Bishop c4, knight d7, bishop b3, another useful waiting move. Knight c5, and now Grischuk decides to go long, b5. With this move, we really do have a dragon and a Najdorf. We have a Dragodorf. Looks like both bishops are going to be fianchettoed. This bishop is coming to b7 soon. King b1, a useful move, and bishop b7. Here Grischuk played a3, giving himself the chance to tuck back if black doesn't capture. But here there was a stunning move beginning with knight f5. Incredible. So let's check out this stunning variation now. If we take it, then bishop takes knight. If you take back, then we put the queen on g5. The queen attacks the g7 bishop. The rook attacks the queen. So here black can save it with bishop h6, and after take, white is winning after queen f5. You can play a move like c4, but knight b5 is pretty cool here. Best is to take, but just to show you the tactic, if you take this way, then queen b5, check, is attacking bishop and king. Now after knight f5, what's another chance? Maybe knight takes b3, so then white cannot take the knight on c5. But then we have knight g7 check, very important intermezzo, in between move, king f8. Let's take the knight, take, and in a position like this, white is much better. Because white has a dark squared bishop, he's going to be able to control so many dark squares. Put the bishop on d4, maybe break through with e5. White has a huge position here. But in the game, Grischuk played a3 after thinking for 7 minutes. So he probably thought about knight f5, but then turned it down. Carlsen now takes the bishop and c takes b3. Very interesting capture, opening up the c file for his rook. When you capture like this, it gives black less of a chance to attack you on the queen side, because both of you have a chance to go to the c file. Black's going to put his rook on c8, but white can put his rook on c1. So I love this recapture from Grischuk. Rook c8, knight c2. This move has a few ideas. This bishop now controls many squares on the queen side. This knight can go to b4, to d5. But also, it clears the way on the d file for the queen and the rook. The queen c7, bishop d4, castle, and queen f2. Nice move. The queen and bishop now control this entire diagonal. Carlsen now played e5. Very committal move, deliberately blocking in his bishop. Another option was maybe e6, keep it flexible. So then you can go d5 next, or if you change your mind, you might even go e5 later. So if rook e1, d5, and now e5, knight d7, f4. Completely changing the structure of the game. So e5, bishop b6, queen d7. So the point of e5 is, now this queen can go to e6, trying to free his position with d5. Also, this pawn controls d4 square, so this knight can't go back. But Grischuk puts his knight on another square, going for the outpost, knight b4. We're coming into d5. Queen e6 was a move, but in the game, rook takes c3 was played, which looks like a very weird exchange sacrifice. Possibly wrong, because after take, It's very unusual to play rook takes c3 and now you undouble his pawns. Normally you play rook takes c3 to double his pawns. So another option was queen e6, trying to get in d5. Rook d3 is a great move here because you can't play queen takes b3 because knight d5. And the queen is in trouble. Also, white is going to win a lot of material. If you play queen a4, then you can go knight e7 check, winning. Forking, king and rook. So rook d3 indirectly protects this pawn. I love these moves, where your opponent attacks you, but you defend it in a very clever way. You don't need to play the obvious king a2. So rook d3 is also great, because then this rook can come to d1. Together, putting pressure on the backward pawn, d6. So back to the game, knight b4, rook takes c3 played. Very strange, as I've already said before, to undouble your opponent's pawns. Maybe based on this structure, you might think, well, why did Carlsen even go for this? Well, let's see. Queen e6, you attack the b3 pawn. Let's go king b2 to defend. And rook c8. Carlsen is trying to time in d5. Might as well get the rook here. But maybe this attack just doesn't work. And Grischuk now plays a great move because notice the queen is doing nothing on this square. Now, is it planning to go to the king side? No. So it wants to go to the queen side and Grischuk clears the way. So pause the video, see if you can find this amazing move. I'll give you 5 seconds. The vacating move is bishop a5. This is the star move of the game. Now the queen on f2 can enter to b6 or to a7. d5 trying to open up, queen a7, and bishop back to a8. And now we have knight takes a6. We saw this right at the start of the video. So thanks for watching all the way up to this point. We've got 3 pieces on the a file. Never seen this before. Grischuk played knight a6. Really cool move because it's not about wanting to trade queens. It's the fact that this knight can now go to c7. Attacking queen and bishop. And this pawn. So you don't want to swap queens yet because Grischuk's got a plan. Really, white is the one playing on the queen side. Bishop f8, knight c7 and queen e7. So Carlsen is going for an attack. Occupying the diagonal, attacking a3, but Grischuk now plays a great move. Knight takes b5. Not only does he defend the pawn on a3, but he defends the queen. So these are the best moves in chess. You play one move and it's got 2 reasons. I love these moves. Queen e8, knight c7, queen e7, no repetition. So not going to play knight b5, but he plays bishop b6. Great move because now the queen on a7 defends your pawn on a3. There is no attack from Carlsen. And when given a chance, Grischuk is going to sort this knight out. He could take on d5 or take on a8. So d takes e4, he grabs on a8. Carlsen now has to trade queens or else he'll be down too much. We're going to take, rook takes knight, and bishop back to f2. White has 3 passed pawns, living the dream. Carlsen gets rid of them. Bishop takes a3 check, king c2, move the bishop back, rook a1, go for a trade. Carlsen says no. Rook d1, take, e4. Take, bishop d4, and it's only a matter of time. Let's just get these pawns moving. The bishop is perfect. You've got 2 passed pawns. The game is over. f5, king b2. Just sidestepping. You don't want to be careless and play b4 because you just lose the pawn. Using the pin on the c-file. So that's why Grischuk just takes his time. Let's go king b2, king f7, now b4, g5, king b3, g4, rook a7, king e6, check, king f7, now c4. Both pawns are just moving. Bishop d6, and cool retreating move, bishop g1. Another multi-purpose move, which I love. Bishop g1 has 2 reasons. You defend the pawn on h2, and now both rooks attack the bishop. King e7, c5. Bishop e5, and after this move, Carlsen resigned. Double attack, rook d5. Cool move, because the bishop has to move. The king can't come forward, because this rook controls every square on the 6th rank. After rook d5, Carlsen resigned. Best move here is to move the bishop, but then you're just going to drop the f5 pawn, and then this pawn isn't going anywhere. and white is just up too much. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. That means you probably enjoyed the video. If you did, why not give it a like and subscribe to the channel at the same time. Make sure you hit that bell, then YouTube will let you know when I release another video.